Jan Barter, the Czech time trialling champion, who's on the road. Tom Bohli as well. I do like Tom Bohli's name. I just want to call him Lotto, but for obvious reasons. Well, maybe not obvious. I'm not quite sure. Tom Bohli being a lottery. Anyway, Tom Bohli is going off for BMC in a moment, and he won the Flanders prologue and set a record time. So it'll be fascinating to see how that BMC man goes. His Frisson, cycling with a certain amount of that, just outside the top 10 with an 18:53.
Yeah, not a bad drive by Frisson. As we got Tom Bohli.
There he goes. He'll roll the dice.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to give it everything he's got. You know, there's certain teams that every single rider is going to have a go and give it their all. And it used to be back in the day when I rode with Credit Agricole, there was we had so many great time trialists, and it was basically the last man across the line from the team had to buy a round at the end of the night.
Oh, that's some encouragement. Porcef keeping it for the Eastern Europeans for the time being. Second quickest at the split, looks very good. This is an important one here for Jack. Take your time, mate. And he does. Well, that was about the smoothest I've seen that corner taken.
Yeah,
almost
very well.
Perfect speed and balance.
Yeah, that was good. Really, really good. And now getting up into to pace as well. He's really given it something. You've got to get on top of the gear and get the speed up before you actually sit down on the bike. But when your legs are screaming, it's the last thing that you want to do.
We will be back in a few moments' time. We're going to take ourselves a commercial break, and then we'll have a chat with some of you. Back in a moment. Welcome back. Time trialling champion at home and now operating abroad. Could be a good one.
Yeah, definitely. I think it should be a good one. He's certainly a man who's keen on time trialling. There's no doubt about that. And you know, if you're going home to and actually prepared to ride the national championships full gas, then usually that means that you're quite keen on getting out there on the TT bike.
You've got it in you. Has this man, though, from what you've seen so far?
Yeah, he's certainly looking strong. It's difficult to tell with Jack Bauer. You never know whether he's flying or whether he's just cruising around.
Well, the search for a smooth surface goes on. The utilities have had their fun. They made a perfectly nice road, and then somebody came and put a gas cable in there, the electric one. The waterboard were there next. Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be a better way of digging up a road constantly and resurfacing it. The chops and changes in the rolling resistance on the roads is reflected. It's almost magnified on a time trialling bike because they're not the most stable machines, are they?
Well, I think stable is maybe the wrong word to use on them. They sit nicely on the ground, but they don't handle particularly well. It's certainly not a criterion bike that you throw around in the corners as you wish. But when you get out onto a straight road like this, then they sit beautifully on the ground, and I'm very happy to travel in a straight line. Is when you're coming into corners and any other obstacles that you may have to deal with, that they tend to be a bit of a handful to maneuver around. But you know, these guys are so used to riding the time trial bikes, they have at least you know, a time trial bike at home for the large part of the season, and some of the better riders tend to have one all year round.
Stacchiotti has just been caught, as you can see, by Jack Bauer. Nobody's managed to catch 2 minute min today. I think you'd have to be going exceptionally fast to do that, but nonetheless, here's Jan Barter and the first split. Now, this is going to be our first, I think, honest engagement by to Bodnar's time, and still it reflects just how quick Bodnar, there he is, he goes through the timing gate now, still 11 seconds, but we've got our second quickest man so far, at least through the split. It's going to get very lively today, we remind you. Tony Martin, twice a world time trial champion, seems to have turned himself into a bit of a climber. I'm wondering what Tony Martin, who goes off 7th from last, I'm wondering what Tony Martin is going to produce. 8th from last, beg your pardon. when it comes to the classics, because he's started to turn himself into a bit of a roller, hasn't he? And not just a time trialist, but a strong man as well.
Yeah, he does go very well uphill, certainly when he's on super form. I think Tony is becoming a very, very all-round type of rider, although maybe not for the higher mountains, but check that out. Tom Bohli, 5 seconds up on Bodnar.
Said, I actually tried to get some odds on Tom Bohli before we came, and all the bookmakers had closed down. He won the Flanders Prologue, and he set a course record, so he's on absolute, that's the West Flanders, I beg your pardon, he's on an absolute monster mission at the moment, and that, what you're seeing on your screen now, is a man on form.
Well, it's definitely a man on form. He's gone very well, but yeah, the question is, against Bodnar, has he opened up too hard, or has he still got that time trialing form from West Flanders that was now some time ago? Certainly looking fast here.
I guess you have a physiological memory of going well, a psychological one as well. He's certainly putting plenty into this. As you can see, he's weaving about. It's not pretty, but it's very, very effective. Has been at the first split. Can he maintain it? That's the big question.
That is the question. A time trialist who gets to do a time trial like this particular one, or any time trial during the season, they wake up and they're excited about getting onto their TT machine and getting out there and going fast on it. I think that's the difference between the really good testers and the riders who just go okay as well.
Wow, he means business, doesn't he? Look at that. He's absolutely out of the saddle, motoring, trying to get back up to speed, and then as quickly as he can into the ideal position. Here comes Rice, and I'm afraid he's fried. Sorry about that. Just over 20 minutes. I think possibly our worst time so far, or at least one of them. There we go. Nothing to write home about, so no postcard required. Well, let's see what Tom Bohli can do. Louis?
Yeah.
Pronunciation?
Louis.
Hey, I got close. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I've been busy practicing. It involves a lot of saliva for this weekend in Flanders. 1943, 35th quickest. Bodnar still there, but I think he's under threat, and I think he's under threat from Tom Bohli. It's rolling along quite nicely. Tom Bohla, by the way, is a form of Italian bingo. There we are. Finally found the word. They have a tin and they roll it, hence the tumble. But anyway, that's what I was referring to, even though his name's not Tom Bohli. It's Tom Bohli. And you're going to remember him after today, that's for sure. Not just for his name, but maybe for the time. Yard. Sticks one in. 25 seconds down. And there is Tom Bohli's time of... well, it's an outstanding one. Quickest at the split. Can he sustain it? We talked about negative splits and how you have to impose yourself in the latter part of the course. More than that, keep something back from the first part. It looked like he kept nothing back, Tom Bohli, but if he's on stellar form, maybe he can do this.
I think the moment you turn off the seafront there is basically that's where you need to sort of think that your race finishes, because after that it's just technical. There's so much time to actually recover a fraction through every corner and just kick hard, sit up, take the turn, recover whilst you're doing all that. So you can live with the final kilometre or so regardless of how tired you are when you turn off the seafront.
So yeah, home, but again, no cigar. Waiting for the last guys to go here, of course, because it's going to decide our title, and I think it's probably worth considering once we see this Minuteman dispatched in a few moments' time. Barter's looking reasonably comfortable. That's Zach Dempster, his teammate in front of him, and the commissaires will be watching for any kind of assistance. When it matters late on, they don't normally allow teammates to go back-to-back, do they? But today, Astana have got Lutsenko chasing down Silvestre.
Yeah, it's a funny one that certain races they don't allow that to happen, and others they kind of let them get away with it. But I'm not quite sure it's the right thing to do to let teammates go off after each other. Although with all the media coverage and the commissaire motorbikes and the static commissaires out on the course, I think it'd be very difficult to get up to any kind of shenanigans.
Porsev, meanwhile, has got up there time-wise, but there's Bodnar's time. We are still waiting, almost with bated breath, for Tom Bohli to come in. Porsev gets close, but still a country mile away, and third quickest so far. There's no doubt that Tom Bohli is going very, very well for BMC, a team noted for their time trialling skills.
They certainly are. They put an awful lot of effort into that, and same thing with equipment development and bike development for the BMC team. That they love this part of it. They're 2 times world champions as well in team time trialing, so there's clearly something that they focus on.
And this is your man at the moment, Tom Bohli. That Swiss flag. I like it. Yeah, say what you like about it. It's a big plus. Good flag. There he goes. And he's starting just to snake ever so slightly. He's got some lateral movement on his shoulders, and that, despite the fact it's only 14.2 kilometres in length, this course today, it is highly technical, and it's going to take a lot of effort to actually win it. And Tom Bohli is, I think,
a winner.
I think he probably is, you know. It's great. I mean, it's just a shame that nobody decided to offer up the game to us today, and I could have brought you some very long odds and said Tom Bohli started off at 200 to 1 or something like that. I think he possibly would have been shorter than those, courtesy of what he did in West Flanders, but I don't think too many people know about this man's capabilities when it comes to time trialling, and right now he's showing us a lot.
He is, and he is going very well indeed. And he said that the rocking on the bike is purely down to the amount of power that he's putting into the pedals. He's actually struggling to hold the bike steady, and of course he's starting to fatigue a bit now as well, which kind of adds to that.
Well, just sailing down by the tram lines as well. Here's Jack Bauer, another decent time, but look at what he's been beaten by. There's Bodnar, the target time, and well, he's heading down towards a minute off that. And Jack Bauer's no slouch when it comes to a time trial bike. So it shows you what Bodnar did today. 52 seconds is the deficit for Bauer. So far, only Tom Bohli looks like he's going to get close, quite frankly. Later on, the internecine battle between teammates in Astana could be huge, with Liu Vestra and Lutsenko going back to back. Lutsenko will be chasing down Vestra, who will have gone off a minute before him. That's not a massive gap either. They normally space them out by 2, sometimes 3 in the team time trial, but usually 2 minutes gap for the top 10. They haven't done it here. They're going off minute by minute. So it means that Alexander Kristoff will, of course, know what his target is. The first target for him will be to catch Lutsenko on the road. Whether he'll do it or not and retain the title remains to be seen. We'll see. This is going to be impressive. He means business, and oh my goodness, just almost gets into one of the padded barriers, supposed to be protective of pedestrians along the way. Well, blessings being offered up here and instilled at the line, but frankly we need to see Tom Bohli finishing, just as and here we're about to see him. This is Jan Barter. Tasty time as well, but Tom Bohli is going to hove into vision as well in a moment. Jan Barter crosses the line, 38 seconds down. Now, he was going reasonably quickly. I think he only had a 14-second deficit at the split, but look at this, 200 metres to go. Jan Barter was the minute man for Tom Bohli, and this is quick. And in fact, he's going to catch another here. My goodness, Bohli, is he going to make it? He's using a bit of aero here as he crosses the line. Oh, just second place. My goodness, that was so close by 0.7 of a second. It could not have been closer. I actually wonder whether he would have gone quicker had that spare rider not been in front of him.
I don't know if that would have made any difference, but I certainly think him getting out of the aero tuck there, I think he lost a bit of time on that. When he's travelling at the speed that he was, he's certainly a lot faster in the aero tuck, and I think he could have put out the same type of effort having done that. If he'd been out of the seat sprinting, it would have been a different thing, but as soon as you're seated, you've got to tuck in because it's such a different effort.
Fantastic performance. 17:39, a time shared by two riders, but Tom Bohli, watch out for him. Terrific. Second quickest, but by just 0.71 of a second. It's almost cruel, mate.
It is borderline cruel, that is, but it is racing. So
Rickert comes in.